Never look at animal people flesh counter again? Good that you are a determined vegan. Bless you.
Peace for Ukraine or urine.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visite suprememastertv.com/schedule.
برامجنا متوفرة بالعديد من اللغات. يرجى زيارة suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Now, in flocks of birds, and here you see a flock of starlings over Brighton West Pier, and here are some more pictures of starlings. The entire flock moves in a coordinated way. The animals change direction without bumping into each other. They must anticipate where their neighbors are moving extremely fast.
The extraordinary telepathic abilities of animal people, Part 3 or 4.
Please continue watching to find out more.
My secret is no real secret. I avoid all animal products in order to build the maximum possible muscle and strength by eating vegan. Not only is this lifestyle super healthy, providing me with ample protein, macro and micronutrients, and fiber, it's also a way to live in line with my values. Patrick Babomian, vegan.
There are 211 countries and regions which have animal people protection laws. Kazakhstan is one of them. Kazakhstan Criminal Code Article 316. Offenses against animal people are to be punished with a fine, correctional work, community service, or imprisonment. A heavier penalty is incurred if the same action is committed by a group of persons or repeatedly. Obey the law of your country. No more animal people slaughterhouses. No more hurting. No more murdering them to eat, to lab test, or for any reason at all. Be vegan. Make peace. So be it.
Kamnabani Nimari. I just said greetings everyone in Gilbertese, one of the official languages of colorful Kiribati. Gentle viewers, my name is Ruatiki. The humble people of this splendid island nation wish your days to be filled with God's grace. Welcome to part 3 of our 4-part series, The Extraordinary Telepathic Abilities of Animal People. In studying how animal people can predict impending earthquakes, scientists experimented with the effects of tiny electrical impulses on dolphin people in the ocean. The results reveal that dolphin people are highly sensitive to these impulses, which do not cause any harm to them and cannot be felt by the average human. They responded by making unusually loud, intense sounds and avoided getting near where the electrical impulses were emitted, even when there was a food reward in the area.
When the electrical impulses are introduced into the water, the dolphins avoid the smaller basin. They swim along together side by side for an unusually long time. The student who has his hands and feet in the water can't feel any of the tiny electrical signals. But what about the dolphins? They are not coming into the basin, even though they're being offered food there. And then the strangest thing happens. The dolphins are making intense noises, louder than the students have ever heard before.
While animal people show anxious behavior in anticipation of an impending disaster, scientists also noticed a difference in the human patients' blood levels during their hospital stay days before a disaster occurred. They believe that subtle changes in the electromagnetic field, which typically may come and go unnoticed, have physiological impacts on both humans and animal people.
Marsha Adams is a biologist. Before she began studying pre-earthquake animal behavior, she worked in a number of hospitals. There, she observed unusual changes in some of the patients' biological processes in the hours or days leading up to earthquakes. For instance, there would be unusually high or low rates of bleeding during surgery or out-of-the-ordinary allergic reactions to drugs. She began monitoring this and made the link to electromagnetic waves.
There are many hypotheses, many theories about how electromagnetic signals or long radio waves influence biological processes. It probably happens at the cellular level, at the cell membrane level, but nobody knows for sure. There are scientific organizations that are dedicated to studying the effects of electricity on people. But my guess is that the long radio waves cause hormonal changes, things like adrenaline. Everybody knows about adrenaline, the fight or flight response, and that this influences mood and behavior in the animals.
Whether we are consciously aware of the electromagnetic fields, this experiment illustrates that our physiology and perhaps our subconscious mind, also known as our extended mind, is sensitive to the changes beyond our understanding. Dr. Rupert Sheldrake believes there is something more than physical theories that explain the premonition abilities of humans and animal people.
Most scientists suspect they can't be explained in terms of physical causes. If it was just a matter of sensing vibrations before earthquakes, why would this be controversial? I mean, we all agree about vibrations, seismologists can measure them. I think that these are also part of a body of evidence that suggests there can be influences from the future. I find many of my colleagues respond by saying, if we don't understand it, if we haven't got a theory, we can't talk about it. That's very unscientific, because at one time no one understood gravitation, at one time no one understood electricity. If we never proceeded into areas we don't understand, we'd never find out anything new.
The animal people are our friends. Be vegan.
Elevated viewers, let's pause for a moment to focus on our wisdom center and pray for universal upliftment. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television.
Peace for Ukraine or Urane now. Russia, just go home.
Welcome back to our show, The Extraordinary Telepathic Abilities of Animal People. In a lecture at Cambridge University, as part of his research on unexplained human and animal people abilities, supported by the Parrot Warwick Fund, Dr. Rupert Sheldrake describes some observations of nature which led to his study of telepathy. He describes organizing fields, which he terms morphic fields, as connecting living organisms to their social group. These morphic fields form a channel for communication among the members of the social group regardless of distance.
Nature is organized in a series of nested hierarchies. The little circles could be subatomic particles in atoms, in molecules, in crystals, or they could be organelles in cells, in tissues, in organs. Everything in nature is organized in this nested hierarchy. At each level, the whole is more than the sum of the parts. Now, when it comes to social organization, the organization of termite societies, of flocks of birds, of packs of wolves, if the three inner circles represent individual animals, the outer one could represent the whole social group. So, from this theory, I arrived at the idea social groups must have organizing fields. These must coordinate the individual members even when they're at a distance.
Dr. Rupert Sheldrake believes that all social animal people have such fields joining them together even when they move apart. In a pack of wolf people, for instance, observation has shown that without howling, they could still tell not only what the others are doing, but also where they are. Therefore, they are able to regather over many miles. Dr. Sheldrake gave further examples regarding a flock of bird people and a school of fish people.
Now, in flocks of birds, and here you see a flock of starlings over Brighton West Pier, and here are some more pictures of starlings. The entire flock moves in a coordinated way. The animals change direction without bumping into each other. They must anticipate where their neighbors are moving extremely fast. The same applies to schools of fish. They can change direction almost instantly when a predator approaches and move apart in what's called a flash expansion without bumping into each other. So they not only know where the others are, but they know where the others are going to go.
This phenomenon suggests an undetectable form of communication among a group of animal people. When they are away from one another, the field isn't broken, it stretches, and they remain connected at a distance through the stretched field. This is believed to be the basis of telepathy. Dr. Sheldrake describes the phenomenon as analogous to the physical analogy of quantum entanglement, where change in one particle affects the other if they have been connected. This illustrates the interconnectedness of all living beings and the ability to feel for one another.
Another way of thinking about this is through quantum entanglement. And Dean Radin, who gave a talk here at Google a few months ago, has written a book called Entangled Minds, suggesting that when people have close social relationships and interactions, their minds become entangled, so that when they separate, there's still an entanglement between them, so a change in one is reflected by a change in another. Quantum non-locality, entanglement of quantum particles, is well known, well documented, and it's in fact the basis of now technological applications in quantum cryptography and quantum computing. And what that shows is that particles that are part of the same system, when they move apart, a change in one is immediately associated with a change in the other. This is independent of distance, unlike many other physical phenomena. It doesn't matter if it's an inch apart or a mile apart. It's distance-independent entanglement or non-local connection. I'm suggesting something like that happens in the case of animal groups and in social groups in general, including human groups.
Animal people have the supersensory abilities to detect subtle frequencies, electrical impulses, or sounds and stay connected through expansive morphic fields that the human physical senses are not able to perceive. Regardless of what we want to call this ability, supersensory, telepathy, intuition, or connectedness, it is a natural way of life for people of the animal kingdom. Perhaps if humans tune in to the divine consciousness of our heart and soul, we too will remember our interconnectedness with all beings.
There are 211 countries and regions which have animal people protection laws. Obey the law of your country. No more animal people slaughterhouses. No more hurting. No more murdering them to eat, to lab test, or for any reason at all. Be vegan, make peace, so be it.
Vegan. Any better idea?
Compassionate viewers, thank you for joining us today for the extraordinary telepathic abilities of animal people, part 3 of 4. Please tune in again on Wednesday, August 2nd for the concluding episode of this series. Up next is Unconditional Help and Love is the Answer, part 7 of 12, on Between Master and Disciples. May we all remain connected with the divine wisdom within.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds. Hell not reach.
Russia, go home now.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/SS.